I'm back. Today, guys, I'm going to be reading to you a gospel from one of my lectionaries. I'm starting this because I want to practice my public speaking. So I thought, what's better than to just record me do it? That way, we're practicing together. I'm practicing. Hopefully, you guys are practicing as well, or listening. That's one step closer to you, becoming a better speaker. Since today is Monday, I'm going to read a gospel from Monday. Let's find one. Okay, let's get into this. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus and his disciples reached the country of Geran, Gerasenes? Okay, let's rewind. We need to, you get me? Jesus and his disciples reached the country of Gerasenes on the other side of the lake. And no sooner had he left the boat than a man with an unclean spirit came out of the tombs towards him. The man lived in the tombs, and no one could secure him any more, even with a chain, because he had often been secured with fetters and chains, but had snapped the chains and broken the fetters, and no one had the strength to control him. All night and all day, among the tombs and in the mountains, he would howl and gash himself with stones. Catching sight of Jesus from a distance, he ran up and fell at his feet and shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? Swear by God you will not torture me." For Jesus had been saying to him, "Come out of the man, unclean spirit." "What is your name?" Jesus asked. "My name is Legion," he answered, "for there are many of us." And he begged him earnestly not to send them out of the district. Now there was there on the mountainside a great herd of pigs feeding, and the unclean spirits begged him, "Send us to the pigs, let us go into them." So he gave them leave. With that, the unclean spirits came out and went to the pigs, and the herd of about 2,000 pigs charged down the cliffs into the lake, and there they were drowned. The swineherds ran off and told their story in the town and in the country round about, and the people came to see what had really happened. They came to Jesus and saw the demoniac sitting there, clothed and in his full senses, the very man who had the legion in him before, and they were afraid. And those who had witnessed it reported what had happened to the demoniac and what had become of the pigs. Then they had begun to implore Jesus to leave the neighborhood. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed begged to be allowed to stay with him. Jesus would not let him, but said to him, "Go home to your people and tell them all that the Lord in his mercy has done for you." So the man went off and proceeded to spread throughout Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and everyone was amazed. This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise be to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so what's our message for the day? My message to you guys is work. I think in this society, with all the movies, all the TV series that we grew up on, all of our favorite characters had this underdog type of story where they were always seen as the guy that everyone doubted, and they just worked so hard. They worked tirelessly, and then at the end of the movie or at the end of the series, they ended up reaching their full potential. And I think with all of us now, we relate to those people that we're watching. So we kind of resonate with their journey and make it seem like our own. And that's where a lot of people kind of get confused with it, because all of our goals and all of our aspirations are so large and they're so far fetched, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. You have to dream big. But in them being so far fetched, we also feel like if we do not make it the same way that these people made it, that are on the movies, on the TV series, then maybe this path isn't for me. And that's the moment where you're in your head. We always think that, well, not always, but we tend to think that things should just come quickly. We have such instant gratification because, as I mentioned earlier, in these movies, the guy works tirelessly and he's down and it feels like he's out, but he just still has that passion, he has that fire. And because the movie is only like 2 hours long, like 30 minutes of the movie is where everything is going wrong for him. And then the last hour 30, everything's going well for him. So we also resonate with the fact that if I suffer for this period of time and I work as tirelessly as I can, after this period of time, everything will be good. But when you have big dreams, you cannot put a time frame to when you will see the outcome. You cannot. Unless it's something like, I want to complete this essay by this date, or I want to have finished I want to have gotten, no, I want to have what? I want to have this amount in investments by this date, or I want to have made this much by this time. Those are goals that are achievable. Those are what people like to call SMART goals. However, when it comes to goals like, I want to be the best at this, I want to be the best at that, I want to be the best musician, I want to be the best singer, rapper, artist, you can't put a time frame to that. It's just like when it comes, it comes. You just have to strive on that passion and you have to work as hard as ever, because at the same time where we have these goals, when it comes to actually putting in the work, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't want to. They want the outcome. They want everything that they're saying, everything that they dream of having. But the process of actually doing it is much more gruel and it's much harder than perceived by everyone. Going back to what I was saying about the movies, we see the struggles that these guys went through. So when ours are much harder, it's like, whoa, I did not expect this. This is just not for me. I don't feel like I can do it. I feel like this path is not for me. So we drift off to something else, or we just quit whatever it is that we thought we were passionate in and move to something else. That's not the case at all. It's just a case of whether you're consistent with what you're doing or whether you're not. And that's what separates a lot of people from who's really passionate and who just isn't. Who's doing it for being able to say, I do this, or I do that, or this is what I want to do, and I'm doing this to make sure I get there. But actually doing the work, they can't. You have a lot of people that, I work at a startup. You have a lot of people that join and they like to post it on their LinkedIn. They like to put it on their CV. But when you actually ask them, yo, can you do what you are supposed to do? You don't get any response. But you look on their LinkedIn, their CVs, it's filled with, I'm here. I'm at this company. I'm working here. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm studying this. I'm studying that. But the actual work, they're non-existent. So it may sound like I'm yapping and yapping, but as long as there's one person that's watching this that understands, that's completely fine. You just need to work. Like work, work, work. And don't lose the passion that you started with. Have notes, have reminders, have things around you that remind you of that passion that you had when you started whatever it is that you're doing, and stick to that passion. I heard this one saying from the famous actor Daniel Kaluuya. He said after doing improvisation, or improv as people call it, he learned that when you're in your head, you're dead. And it's completely true. Let me give you a quick example. Somebody that wants to be a footballer, they say, I want to be the best footballer in the world. Like, I'm going to be playing in the Premier League. I'm going to be playing in the Champions League. I want to be playing for the best teams. And they work, they play, they train daily. One day they go to trials at an academy. They see all of these guys that are much older than them, playing way better than them. They speak to some of these guys. These guys are saying that they're way older than them. They're like 19. This person is, let's say, 13. Guys are saying they're 16, 17, 18, and they never made it to the Premier League. They never made it pro. And now you who wants to be a footballer, you're going home thinking that, whoa, these guys are way older than me. They're way better than me. And they never made it to the Premier League, the La Liga, the Champions. They never made it pro. How the hell am I going to do it? That's when you start getting in your head. 3, 4, 5 months down the line, maybe even a year down the line, all of a sudden you're doing chemistry, saying you're going to cure cancer. You're no longer playing football. And it's just a butterfly effect of what happens when you really get in your head. Hence, when you're in your head, you're dead. You lose your passions. You lose your passions completely. You lose that effect of, or that drive of, this is what I want. This is who I am. I was born to do this. That's complete. That passion is something that you can't buy. You can buy hard work. You can, not even just, you can't buy hard work. Let me actually say that. You can learn how to be hardworking. You can learn a talent. You can learn a skill. You can't learn a talent. You can learn a skill. You can learn a lot of things, but there's just some things you can't learn. Passion is one of them. And passion is what separates those who are the best and those who are great. All my people watching here, go outside and be great. Don't settle for anything less. Be passionate about what you do and love what you do. Because as long as you have those two things, no one can swift you off your path. No one can tell you anything. And you are going to be great. I believe in all of you. I believe in those who have passions, those who are working towards their passion, those who love what they do, regardless of however much they're getting. You could be getting millions. If you don't love what you do, you'll be miserable. So those who love what they do and those who are working towards their passion or are passionate about what they do, I believe in you. Just go out there and be great. Don't be the best. Go and be great. Peace out and God bless.